Hi friends, in this class we will capture some of the logical functions which we have in our Excel. Okay, let's start with if. If is the first and the most widely used logical function. Let me zoom out the screen. Okay, so if is the first logical the most important logical function. If basically how it works is it checks a condition, a logic, and it asks the user what to do if the condition is true, if the condition is met, and what to do if the condition is not met, if that is if the condition given or the logical condition given is false. So let's take an example. Let me write any random number here, 100. Okay, and let me write an if function. So at this point, by this point of time, that whenever we write a function within Excel, we start with equal to, we write the name of the function spelled correctly, and then we open the parenthesis or what we call bracket generally. Right, the moment we open the bracket, Excel gives you the input required for the function or the formula, and the highlighted portion is what is Excel asking you right now before you give a comma. So as you can see right now, the highlighted portion is the logical test. So Excel is asking us what is the logical condition or the test which you want to give to the Excel. So let's say I give that if this cell, that is cell A3, is greater than 80, right, and I give a comma. So this is my logical condition or the logical test, that if the value which is given to me or the reference which cell which is given by me is lower than, greater than, equal to a given number or a value, then I give a comma. The moment I give a comma, you can see that Excel now highlights the next part of the function, which is value if true. That is, Excel is asking the user that what should I do if the condition is true or if the condition is met. Now here again the user can choose anything which he wants to give as an output. The output can be, let's say he can give wow, successful, okay, or he can give oh, fail, fail, right. So this is the output we can create. We can also give an output as a numeric digit. Now always remember one thing about Excel is that Excel doesn't recognize the text until and unless it's an inbuilt function for Excel, right. So whenever we give any text as an output or any reference to the Excel, we always put it in inverted comma, as we have done here. So we have put wow, successful, which is a text, in inverted comma. Again oh, fail, which is a text, we have put it in inverted comma, and I press enter, right. So in this case, since my condition was met, that is cell A3 was greater than 80, it is 100. So the output was given to me as wow, successful. Now if I change the value of the cell, let's say I make it 60, so it says oh, fail, because now the condition is not met. This is how an if function works in an Excel. Simple, plain and simple. Let's take another example with the text Varun. So let's say I write a function if cell A5 is equal to, now again since I have to check for a text, I will put it in inverted comma. I say if it is Varun, then say faculty, or else say candidate. I forgot to put an inverted comma here, and then I can close the bracket and enter. So since cell A5 is equal to Varun exactly, so the answer given to me is faculty. This is not case sensitive, as you can see. Even if I write Varun, the answer will still be the same. Let's say if I put it any other name, let's say I put it Amit, and you can see that the answer thrown is candidate. So there will be only one faculty in the class, the rest all will be candidates. So if we are checking a list of participants in the class, we can distinguish whether it's a faculty or candidate by using a simple if function. Okay, so this is about if function. The only catch here, do remember, is that if function can work at a given point of time only with one logical test. Second is, whenever giving any text, put it in inverted commas. So this is about if function. Now as I just recently mentioned that in the problem or the limitation of if function is that it will only do one logical test at a time. But there are other functions in Excel which allows us to do more than one logical test. The first one, which is very useful, is AND function. Okay, now how does an AND function works is, as we know, even in general English parlance, when we use the word AND, we are referring to more than one, right? So in Excel, an AND function is again a logical function. As you can see, it gives me logical 1, logical 2. So if we have to test more than one logic at a time, we use something called AND function. So let's say if I want to check whether cell A3 is greater than 100, comma, my logical test 2 is cell A5 is equal to Varun. Okay. Now, since we are using an AND function, always remember AND means more than one and it means both. So an AND function will give you an output as true or false only. It will give you true if all the conditions, all the logical tests mentioned by you is true. All of them, not one or more than one, but all of them, right? So if any one of the condition doesn't meet your criteria or fail the logical test, the answer will be false. So in this case, my answer will be false because neither my cell A3 is greater than 100 nor A5 is equal to Varun. Let's make it 120. Now my first condition is met, that is cell A3 is greater than 100, but still my answer is false because AND function will give a true output only if both the conditions are met. Now if I make this one also as Varun, you can see that now it is giving me a true as an output because both the conditions are met, right? This is about AND function. Okay. In AND function, I can give more than one logic also at a time. I mean, I can give more than two logic at a time. Of course, it's used for more than one, right? Now, if it's a case of either or, right? So we use a function called OR, right? It's very similar to or akin to the AND function. The only difference is that an OR function will give you a true output if one of the condition is met of the given logical test. Even if one of the condition is met, your answer will be true. Let's see what I am talking about. So I write an OR function and I again use the same cell. I say this is equal to, this is greater than 100, comma, this is equal to Varun. Okay, and I give, okay, I forgot the inverted comma, which Excel does it for me. Thank you, Excel. And I press enter. So you can see right now the answer is true, but obvious because both the conditions are met. Now let's say I make one of the condition as false. Now you can see the answer is still true even when cell A5 is not equal to Varun because one of the condition has been met. So this is the difference between an AND and an OR function. An AND function will give us a true output only when both the conditions, all the conditions specified by us in the given Excel sheet is mentioned, given function is maintained. An OR function will give you a true output if one of the condition is met. Right, so this is the difference between the AND and the OR function. Okay, so let me take a pause here, and as I keep saying in my previous classes also that all the Excel functions and inbuilt formulas standalone, they are very simple and easy to understand. Of course they have been built to make it simple, to look simple. But when we apply it in a different complex situation, when we are working on different files or database or text in our day-to-day life, this is when we see the magic of these beautiful functions which they create together. For example, let us take an application example of this three functions. Okay, so here is a situation. This is a database, again a random database created by me, no reference to any employee base or anything. Now this is a table which gives me the employee number, okay, in column number A. It gives me the annual rating of the employees. Okay, and it gives me the supervisor approval. As you can see right now I can't see the data, but as we studied in basic formatting, if I go to home tab and wrap text, then I will be able to see the data clearly. Okay, the third column, that is column number C, gives me the supervisor, whether the employee has a supervisor approval for promotion or not. Now what we need to do is we need to write a formula, okay, which will show us, which will give us the output whether the employee is to be promoted or not to be promoted if both of these conditions are met. What are the two conditions? The first condition is that his rating is above 3, is 3 or above, okay, and the second condition is that he has the supervisor approval for promotion. Okay, so can we write a single formula which will do the test for me and give me the output as desired? Yes, of course we can. Again, take a pause here, stop this video, try and do it yourself. If you are not able to do it, come back to the video. If you are able to do it, come back to check it. Thank you. Wait here, do it yourself. Okay, so this is how we solve this example, this exercise. I start with an if function. Okay, what is my logical test? I have two logical tests. So what I do is I club an AND function into it. You remember, right? Whenever we have more than one logical test, we use AND function. And in this case, since both the condition has to be met, I will use AND function and not OR function. So what is my first logical test? That my annual rating is greater than or equal to 3. Yes, in Excel it's allowed to use greater than or equal to sign like this together. Comma. What is my second logical test? My second logical test is that the employee should have supervisor approval, that is, this cell should be equal to yes. And I close my AND function, right? So my AND function will either give me a true or a false. I give a comma. So now Excel asks me what should I do if it's true, and I say if it's true, you give me the output as to be promoted. Okay, I give a comma. Now Excel asks me what should I do if it's false. I say you give me not to be promoted if the conditions are not met, that is if the condition is false, and I close the bracket. Okay, so in this case Excel gives me to be promoted. Why? Because the rating is 3 or above, which is eligible, and even the supervisor has the approval. Now I will copy paste this cell for all the employees, and I will get my output as to be promoted or not to be promoted. Now an HR can directly refer this cell and see the number of employees or the employee number who are to be promoted. As we can see, very few employees are promoted, always the corporate clashes. Okay, so this is about if function, the AND function or the OR function. Now let's move on and understand the next function, the next logical function, which is SUMIF and COUNTIF. Okay, so it's SUMIF. Let's understand what is the SUMIF. We have already studied in our numerical function class sum function, right? And right now what we did is the if function. So SUMIF as a function is nothing but the combination of these two functions, as in it will sum a given database or a given data only if the condition given by the user is mentioned. If the condition given by the user is met. How do we do it is, okay, we write a SUMIF, bracket open. Okay, now Excel is asking me for a range. Okay, let me first create a random range for this number so that we are able to appreciate the sum more. Okay, now let me write a SUMIF function. It's a basic function. To understand how does this function work, we will definitely look at the application in a while. Okay, so Excel is asking me for a range. This range stands for the range which will contain the criteria which is to be met. So I give it a range. Okay, I give a comma. Now Excel is asking me for criteria. Criteria simply means that of this given range which you have given, what is the criteria which needs to be met. So I say, let's say B. So what I am trying to tell Excel is that sum my data only if the range given by me, that is column number A, is equal to B. That is sum all the data which is B, sum all the data for B. And then I give the range, and Excel is asking me for some range. So I give reference to this cell, that is column number B. So what will happen in this case is Excel will go and look for column A. Wherever there is B, it will pick up the data in column B and it will add that. Okay, so here it's 13. Now let me insert another row here and add a data with B. Let's say 28. Okay, so you can see that Excel ignored all other value, but it only summed those values which were in front of B, that is 13 plus 28, and hence our answer is 41. sorry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now let me take another example, which is another function which is very similar to SUMIF. It's called COUNTIF. Okay. So COUNTIF works more or less in the same manner. Okay, it asks me for the range. I give it a range. Okay, and it asks me for criteria. So I give it a criteria B. Okay, and as you can see that here there is no question of sum range, because the sum range is already in case of count there will be nothing to sum. So it will add up all the number which will have B. Okay, so it will count all the cells which will have B and will give you the output. So in this case answer will be 2. Right. So this is how a SUMIF and a COUNTIF works. This is a combination of two functions, as I said earlier, the sum function and the if function. So it says if this cell is B, then I will add this cell which is the sum. Then I will sum up the data which is there in column number B, because this is the sum range defined by the user. Now in Excel 2010 above, 10 and above, we have been in fact 2007 and above, we have this few more additional function which is called SUMIFs. Okay, now let's understand what is that. Let me introduce another column here. Let's say, what do you want? Let me give it a name. So apple ball, apple and ball. Okay, and let me make it A. Okay, now let's understand how does the SUMIF function work. As you might have guessed by now that in SUMIF, as we know that in SUMIF we can give only one logical test at a time, like in if function. So what we do is we use a function called SUMIF when we have more than one logical criteria to test. So let's say if I want to, in this database, okay, if I want to add up all the data which has both apple and A. So we have a repetitive data like that. So we have A and apple here. We have, okay, let's talk about B and ball. So wherever we have in column A, B is there, that is the name of the person is B, and in column B we have the ball as the product. So I want the Excel to create a sum of that particular data. So I start with sum IFS bracket open. What is Excel asking me for is sum range. Do notice the difference here with SUMIF. In SUMIF the sum range was asked at the last, but here we have to give the sum range at the beginning. So this is my sum range, the data which I want to add up. Excel is asking me for criteria range 1. So this is my criteria range 1. Now Excel is asking me for criteria 1. So what is my criteria 1? My criteria 1 is B. That is, my first criteria is that column A should be equal to B, and I give a comma. So Excel says criteria range 2. So this is my range of criteria 2, where it will go and look for the criteria. And what is my second criteria? That this column should be equal to ball, and I close my bracket. Okay. So again you can see that Excel matched B and ball, and it gave me 13 and plus 28. So it gave me a sum of 41, which is the sum of meeting the two criteria, that is column A is equal to B and column B is equal to ball. You can see that if I make this B, it will not change my output, but if I change this to apple, it will change my output to 13. Right. So this is how a SUMIF function works. And as it's one-on-one offer right now going on everywhere, let me give you a free COUNTIFs also. Okay, so a COUNTIFs works similar to COUNTIF, besides the point that it has plural criteria available. So my criteria 1, criteria range 1 is this. What is my criteria 1? B. My criteria range 2 is column number B. What is my criteria 2? It's ball, and I close the bracket. So it says 1, and just to show you, yeah, now it says COUNTIFs is equal to 2. So this is how a SUMIF, a COUNTIF work. Basically it's nothing but a data where the Excel will create a sum of a data only if the given criteria is met. In SUMIF and COUNTIF I can give only one criteria at a time, but in COUNTIFs or SUMIF we can give more than one criteria at a time. Similar to SUMIF and COUNTIF, we also have something called average if and average ifs. It works exactly the same way as we have SUMIFs. Okay, so let's take an example to understand it further. Okay, in this cell, what I want you to do is calculate the sum of revenue from telecom industry. That's my first example. My second example is that I want to calculate the sum of revenue from UK telecom industry. Okay. Again, take a pause, try it yourself. If you are not able to do it, we'll do it together. Now, how I will approach this problem is, first of all, I will write the criteria here in this cell. So I have two criteria. My first criteria is telecom industry. My second will be, for the second problem statement, is UK and telecom industry. Okay, so let me, for the first one I can simply use a SUMIF function. Since there is single criteria, I will use SUMIF. It says range. So this is my range where my telecom industry will be lying or not lying. My criteria is this particular cell. So I can also manually punch in the word telecom within inverted comma, and I can also refer it to a cell. So here I am referring it to cell, and then my sum range will be this particular cell, and I close my bracket. So I get the revenue, the total revenue of all the telecom industry. So what will Excel do in this case is, it will go and search for all the telecom, okay, and wherever there is a telecom industry, it will add up those numbers from the column C. Right? Let's look at the second problem statement. In second problem statement, I have two criteria. First is that my country should be equal to UK and my industry should be equal to telecom. So I will use sum ifs. Okay, it says sum range, so I give it a sum range. It asked me for a criteria range 1. So my criteria range 1 is UK. It doesn't matter which criteria I give first, it's one and the same thing. And my criteria range 2, this is my range, and my criteria is telecom, and I close the bracket. So I get 0. So okay, the reason I am getting UK 0 is because UK doesn't exist in this list. What exists is United Kingdom. So if I go and change this to United Kingdom, I get my answer. So my revenue for United Telecom Industry, as you can see, is 443546. Right? Okay. So once again, what we are doing is we are trying to calculate the total sum of revenue from the UK telecom industry. So I use a function called sum ifs. I bracket open, I open the bracket, I give it a sum range. Now you might be wondering, how do I select the entire sum range in a single click of mouse? I mean in a single click of button. So what we need to do is, please pay attention. I place my cursor on this cell. I use Control, Shift, and I press the down arrow key on my keyboard. Once again, I place my cursor on this cell. I use Control, Shift, and down arrow, and the entire range is selected for me. I don't need to use my mouse for this reference. Similarly, when I want to use criteria range 1, I place my cursor on this cell, Control, Shift, and down arrow. Okay. Sorry, it's not range, but it should be, yeah, actually it was right, I made a mistake. Okay, so my criteria is telecom, UK. My second criteria range is Control, Shift, down arrow, that is my industry. And finally my criteria range 2, which is telecom, bracket closed, enter. Right, so this is what we have in sum if, count if, average if, and sum ifs, count ifs, and average ifs. Right, they work in a similar fashion. Are we guys good? Shall we continue? Okay, let's look at the last part of this class, logical function, wherein we will see something called nested function, nested if function. Okay, first of all, nested if is not a function. There is nothing, there is no function by the name of nested if, but what we do have is a function called if, and by using, when we say nested if, what we will do is we will create more than one function within a given function. Let me show you how does it work. This is something similar to if then else. So I'm telling Excel that if first logical test is met, then do something, and if it doesn't meet the logical test, then do something else for me. Like what to do? Basically if then else rather than just if then. Okay. So how it works is, let me first write a number, 100. Okay. Let me write a nested if function, for example. So you guys know the if function. So if I give a logical test, let's say this cell is equal to if this cell is equal to 200, comma. So my logical test is done. Value if true. So I say wow. If it's not true, okay. Now the catch is that if it doesn't true, then ideally what we do is within inverted comma or something, we ask Excel to give me an output. In a nested if function, what I'll do is, rather than giving in an output, I'll ask Excel to do a second logical test for me. So I again start with the if function. So I say if this criteria is not met, then check the another criteria. Another criteria might be that this cell is less than 200. Okay. Then I say value if true. I say okay, because it's not greater than 200, and else I say and I close my bracket. Right. The first bracket closed is for the second if function. I have to put one more bracket to close the first if function, and I press enter. Right. So let's see what happened here. Excel will go and check whether cell A4 is greater than 200. Well, is it greater than 200? Excel says no. So it says, okay, what to do if it's no? Then it says again check if it's less than 200. Is 100 less than 200? Yes. So Excel says okay. If it was not less than 200, then what will Excel do? It will say right? So this is how a nested if function works. For example, if I make it 300, right? So Excel gives me a wow because my first criteria is met, right? Again, when I say nested if, so I can give more than one if function. Instead of closing after second if function, I can create one more if function and do the same process again. This is what we mean by a nested if function. Are we good? Okay, let's see. Let's take an example. Okay. Now here is the score of the student, the roll number of the student and their math score, and we have to grade those students according to the given benchmark. So if the student has score greater than 90%, we say the grade is excellent. If it's above 60, we say it's good. If it's above 40, we say average. But if it's less than 40, we say poor. Okay. So can we write a function, a single function to excuse me, can we write a single function to calculate this grade for the student? Let's see. Yes, you are right. You need to take a pause, try it yourself, and then come back to this video. Let's solve this example. So this is an example wherein we will have to use the nested if function because we have to do a multiple logical test, and if one test is not met, we need to move on to the another, and so on and so forth. So I start with a simple if function. Okay, my first test will be that the student score is greater than 90. If yes, he will get a grade of excellent. If not, then I need to do for another logical test. My another logical test is that if this is greater than 60, okay, or ideally we should use a reverse logic, otherwise we'll have to use an AND function here. Okay, so since I have started it, let's do it with an AND function also, because there will be two functions here, so we'll have to use an AND function. So it's greater than 60 and less than 90. Okay. Or I think we can do with the normal greater than 60, because if this condition is not met, it will not come to the another function. Okay, so we don't need an AND function because Excel will do that part for us. So we'll just simply say if the cell is greater than 60, then the grade is good. Okay, else I come to the third logical test, which is if this is greater than 40, then it's an average. Okay, or else now I can close because there is no more condition to be checked. If all the three conditions are not met, by default the answer will be poor. I have to put it in inverted comma. Okay, I need to close all the parentheses which I have opened. So there were totally 1, 2, 3. So I'll have to close 3 parentheses at the same time. Okay, I also need to put an inverted comma here. Okay, so let me put an inverted comma and enter. Okay, so let's see whether we are getting the right result or not. Obviously we will, but okay, so all the scores which are between 60 to 90 will be good. Okay, all the scores which are below 40 will be poor. All the scores which are between 40 to 60 will be average, and any score which is above 90 will be excellent. Okay, yeah. Okay, so once again what we are doing is we are trying to populate, we are trying to solve an example using the nested if function. The good advantage of nested if function is that in a situation like this where we have a different benchmark like greater than 90, between 60 to 90, we don't need to use the AND function or use between 60 to 90, because what will happen, how Excel will work is it will first check the data whether it's greater than 90, it will throw excellent, and then it will just close the test there. If it's not greater than 90 only in that case it will move on to the next condition, which is if it's greater than 60, right? So if it's not greater than 90, then the next data, if it meets the criteria, it will obviously be between 60 and 90 or whatever benchmark we have given, and so on and so forth. So this is how we work on a nested if function. Thank you.